Our psalm today in our bulletins is Psalm 24. And the psalm begins, the psalm of King David. It begins, "The earth is the Lord's and all that is in it, the world and all who dwell therein." It says, God made all things and all things are his. Declares the majesty of God. Then in the next section of the psalm, it asks a question. In verse 3, it says, "Who can ascend the hill of the Lord? Who can stand in his holy place?" The Lord is the God and the King of the world. Who is worthy to go up and be in his presence? The answer that's given is those who have clean hands and a pure heart, who do not lift up their souls to what is false, but whose hands are that clean, whose heart is that pure, whose soul is that true, to be in the very presence of God. We are not up to it. But then in the final section of this psalm, David envisions a reversal. Instead of us being good enough to ascend and to go into God's holy place, it is rather God who comes to us. God comes to us within our doors. David says, "Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, O ancient doors, and the King of glory may come in." Paul then, in our apostle reading at the beginning of Romans today, says that this, God's coming to us when we don't deserve it, is the good news, the gospel of God, which he promised beforehand through his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. Paul is saying beforehand in the Old Testament, God has been saying, I am going to make things right. I am going to come to you. There's this promise of something that's coming. And our gospel today talks about the coming of the King, the King's glorious coming. Indeed, Matthew has just spent the first part of his gospel, the first part of chapter 1 there, giving Jesus' genealogy, that he is the descendant of David. He is the coming king. But then, strangely enough, this king comes less with great, glorious fanfare than in secret, or as a secret. We have Joseph, who was a carpenter from the town of Nazareth in Galilee. Galilee was seen as kind of a backwater of Israel. And he was betrothed, not yet married, to Mary, who was pregnant. Now they were both worried. This would be something that would bring shame upon their family as soon as it began. But we're told an angel of the Lord came to Joseph in a dream and told Joseph that all of this took place to fulfill what the Lord had spoken through the prophet Isaiah. The prophet Isaiah says, "Look, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel," which means God is with us. And this is the good news, the gospel of God, as Paul writes, which he promised beforehand through his prophets in the Holy Scriptures, the gospel concerning his Son. For in God's Son, Jesus, God comes to us, even though we are not worthy to go to him. Who can ascend to the hill of the Lord? Who can stand in his holy place? Who is worthy to be in God's presence? The good news is that though we are not worthy, it is God who comes to us. and not in a form that is great and overwhelming and powerful, but as something that comes small and humbly, as a baby in Mary's womb. For unto us a child is given, unto us a son is born, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. So indeed, lift up your heads, O gates. Lift them high, O everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. May he find in us a mansion prepared for himself. On this Christmas, God comes to us in the person of his Son, Jesus Christ, Emmanuel, God with us. Come, let us adore him. Amen.